all the world's information is available at the press of a button is revolutionizing education and how our children learn. And this morning we chat to creative parenting expert Nikki Bush about what this revolution in education means for us and how technology can help bring learning alive. Nikki, very nice to be back with you once again. And this is a very interesting topic for me because it goes back to what we knew as kids at school. But I think in today's day and age, our parents have a very big task at hand with our kids having so much information at their fingertips available. How do we need to process that? How do we need to teach our kids basically at home?
Well, it's not just a challenge for parents, but for teachers and the whole education system as well,
Indeed.
because it's being completely revolutionized. If you think about the fact that kids have so much access to information, acquiring information is no longer the primary goal of education. So actually, what we need to be teaching children is how to access information and how to manipulate it to do really interesting stuff, and often in real time. So you think, for example, of 3D printers. This is one of the new technologies coming in, where data is turned into objects and objects are turned into data. So if your son, for example, loses his little yellow plastic building block or his little yellow duck, but for the bath, you can actually use a home 3D printer to print a whole new duck.
So I think I lost you there along the line.
This is the kind of stuff that our kids are now able to do. And that's why they need to have tech-savvy skills. This technology is becoming almost a form of intelligence. And while I do understand some children are more technical than others, and if you have two children, you'll understand this, one will be way more natural with technology than the other. Every child needs basic knowledge of how to use technology and how to access that information.
Let's talk about that. What are available for the kids at the moment? Or what are they using in school? Because when I think back, I think the most advanced piece of technology we had was an overhead projector with those transparent sheets, you know, and it was a big deal back in the day.
And the coloured pokies.
Indeed.
Yes.
What are they using nowadays?
Well, they're way beyond pen and paper today. And in fact, all this technology is bringing learning alive. Now, children know, because they use technology in the real world, they know that the real world is not really being well reflected in most classrooms around the country. But in those schools where technology is being rolled out, we're seeing things like data projectors, obviously, with smart boards, which can interact with the internet, bringing YouTube right into the classroom, bringing real life into the classroom. We have back channels with cell phones, where if kids are allowed to use cell phones in the classroom, even the shyest child in the class, who would never have put up their hand to ask a question, can actually SMS the teacher. And the question can come up on the board and it doesn't have to say who it came from. You know, those sorts of things are really interesting. Then schools are developing education portals where assignments are uploaded and downloaded from that portal. They don't have to do them on paper anymore. It's all done virtually. Teachers mark them virtually. The marks come back. And in fact, that's a reflection of real life. That's how people are increasingly working in the office space, in the workspace. So we need to give our children a better handle on how things are happening in the real world. But the most amazing opportunities are coming out. Kids in their teens are able to start businesses if they've got a little bit of nous and programming knowledge. People like our local Nadav Ossendriver, who set up latestsightings.com, which is an app that can help you find animals, say in the Kruger National Park. That's where he started it, and it's now going to other nature conservancies around the country and now around the world. Now, isn't that awesome? He was about 15 when he started that app. Now he employs people, and he's only 20, and he's been to the offices of Google.
That is absolutely incredible. You know what? I'm actually glad I have your number on speed dial because I think I've got a lot to learn with my boy going to be going to school pretty soon. But when we take a look at what is happening in the school environment, can youngsters learn everything from a screen? Do they need outside information?
That's a really good question, Ewan, and I know you have a little one. And just to say to parents that not everything can be taught on a screen, especially in the first 7 years of life. We need to remember we are still human, we are multisensory beings, and children learn best through using as many senses as they can, through interaction with their physical body, with objects, with real toys, with real people in real time. This is very, very important. In order for a child to develop meaning about the world around them, they need to interact with that world on a very physical and emotional basis. And then emotional intelligence, and we keep talking about safety online. The basis of making good decisions online for young people, for teenagers, for tweens, rests on their level of emotional intelligence. Now, that is one thing that you cannot teach in a vacuum or on a screen. That is communicated and evolved and developed through your relationship with your child, through face-to-face connection. Time, sharing time, space and pace with your children.
Wow, it seems like our parents got a lot to learn. It's almost like a bit scary. Nikki, but thank you. At least we have you. You've given us some great advice. Really appreciate it this morning. Now, it really is so important for the parents of today to keep up to date with how their kids are learning. Connectivity really opens up the world to everyone, and this new technology can make learning easier and more fun for many people.
Turn your house into a connected home for only $3.99 per month from SA's best fixed and mobile broadband network. Call 10213 or go to a Telkom store.